Yep, go.
Okay, welcome everybody. Today's workshop is delivered to you from HSMAI, and the title is Solving the Pricing Problem. The agenda today is I'll start and I'll just introduce you to HSMAI, and then I'll hand over to Tammy, and Tammy is going to take you through the workshop part of the session, and she'll talk about the value proposition, and then getting to know your customers and your competitors, looking at pricing, getting to know your pricing. So we'll take you through all of that and give you some examples, and we have a handout we can send you after the session to help you get your personas ready. And then I'll just, at the end, give you a little pointer to some places where you can learn more about these topics. So HSMAI stands for the Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International. It's a 90-year-old non-profit association, and we have about 8,000 members around the world, and we have 4 regions. So Americas, Europe, Asia Pac, which is where we're broadcasting from, and the Middle East. We focus on hotels, resorts, motels, and we're looking at people who are working in or managing the functions of revenue management, sales, and marketing. We are the people who bring you the certifications in those disciplines. So you'll probably, if you work in hospitality, you'll know the CRME is the revenue management certification and digital marketing. We also have an academy where we have a whole range of online courses that you can study at your own pace, and we bring them to you as low cost as we can so that everyone can access them. And just lastly, the other thing that we normally do when it's not COVID time is we do face-to-face workshops around the Asia Pacific region, Europe and America. And we have one of the trainers that we normally use in the workshops here, and her name is Tammy Matthews, and I will hand over to her to take you through this workshop. Tammy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm Kat.
Great.
I am going to take over.
I will hand over to you to introduce yourself.
Thank you. All right, let me make
I've
sure.
Stop sharing.
Yeah, let me make sure. Right. Okay, welcome along. As Jackie said, today we're going to talk about the value proposition. How much should I be charging? Am I priced right? And how do I know? My name is Tammy, and I run a company called Revenue. We work with hotels, motels, short-term rentals across the Asia Pacific region, and we specialize in revenue management, distribution, sales, and marketing. We're all about helping hotels make more money. So what is a value proposition? It is a statement defining the value a company promises to deliver customers should they choose to purchase their product. It is the foundation of what we do every day. So a nice simple value proposition formula would be, I help people who are struggling with by offering, and my service is unlike any others because. So let's break that down. I help people who are struggling with somewhere to sleep, especially somewhere to sleep that is safe, somewhere to meet, conferences and events, somewhere to eat, I might run a restaurant, somewhere to learn, I might be running a tour company, somewhere to go, I might be a beach resort, somewhere to be. And my service is unlike any others because my location, my price, I'm cheap. My facilities, I've got toilets in my bathrooms. I've got meeting and event space. I've got a menu and there's a burger on that menu. Or maybe there's a cocktail on the menu and my reviews are pretty good. Are they really unique selling points? Do these things really set me apart from my competition? To decide on your value proposition statement, you must get to know your customers first. What do they value? What do they want? And what do they need? Okay, so in tourism and hospitality, we talk about our market segments. We talk about our customer personas. This is the one time in life that I will tell you it's perfectly fine to stereotype because we are lumping together our customers according to their buying patterns. So, for example, we might talk about the juggling Joneses. They're Gen X, they're in their 40s, and they're on a reasonably good income. They work in professional roles, they both work, and their children are most likely in private school. They are very focused on their kids' education. When they go on holiday, they like to ensure that they are immersing their children in learning experiences, cultural experiences. They like to think that their children are off the dreaded screens and that their children are learning something. Everything is for the kids, but they hate poor service, poor organisation, and what will make them not buy is poor service and lack of responsiveness. You need to really start to identify your customer personas. Each business will have at least one and probably more likely to have about 4 or 5. When you are looking at your customer personas, it's really important to think about how did they behave in 2019, how do they behave now in 2021, and how will they behave in 2023. Now, my crystal ball's a bit broken, but we can make safe assumptions on how they're going to behave. We also need to consider what trends drive our customers. We do not want to be the Blockbuster of business today. I don't know if you all remember, but Blockbuster was where we all went in the late 80s and 90s to hire videos, take them home on a Friday night and watch them. The CEO of Blockbuster was approached to buy this newfangled dangle business called Netflix. He said, no, streaming will never take off, and he turned it down. The rest is history, as we say. Blockbuster no longer exists and Netflix is known worldwide. You do not want to be the Blockbuster of business. You want to identify the trends that are resonating with your customers, embrace them, and reflect them back to your customers. So, for example, if you run a restaurant, have you noticed that your customers are now buying more plant-based menus? Have you gone from selling one vegetarian menu item a week to maybe selling 4 or 5 a day? Or perhaps all of your customers used to come internationally. They would fly in and now they're road tripping and they're domestic. Or are they more focused on green? What are your customers worried about right now? What trends are they embracing? And are you reflecting these back to your customers? When you're looking at your customer personas, you need to think about their buying behavior. What resonates with them? When they look at a special offer, when they look at your pricing, what are they going to feel a connection with? Is it going to be something like stay one night, save 10%? That's probably going to be something a corporate client would like because they'll look at stay 3 nights and go, I'm never going to stay 3 nights. I want to go and I want to come home again. Your honeymooners might look at the book 30 days in advance, save 30%, and that will resonate with them because they're planning a little bit further in advance. Maybe the corporate client likes the idea of a free bottle of wine at the end of a busy day. Or maybe your family thinks a late checkout is great because their flight is not until 6 o'clock at night. Or perhaps stay 3 nights and enjoy a cocktail of your choice in our rooftop bar. This hotel has a bar. Watch the sunset across the waves while you watch for whales and enjoy your complimentary snacks. whales. I can take photos of that. Wake each morning to a lazy breakfast served on your own private balcony, and on the day of departure, we will throw in a free late checkout of 12 midday. All this comes with free Wi-Fi as well. You can share your experiences with friends at home on Instagram. Our hashtag is ConnedYou with words. Which of those deals, and I'll give you a clue, they're all exactly the same. Which of those deals did you read and like and think, I want to purchase? Your different customer personas will shop differently. You need to work out which deal is going to resonate with them. What is their buying behavior? What do they like to see? And then you feed it back to them. When you are considering your customers, it is important to think, who are my customers? Not, I'm a staff member and I think my customers like this. You need to be your customer. You need to understand what they value, want, and need. If you don't know, you need to be a customer. That means you need to experience your own offering. One of the first things I ask my clients when I start working with them is, when did you last stay in your hotel? When did you last check in at your hotel? Go and sleep in one of your rooms? Try and watch Netflix on 3 devices in your room? Sleep in the bed, have a shower. When did you last go to breakfast as a customer? When did you last check out of your hotel? What was the experience like? Now do that for your competitors. When did you last call your hotel, hide your number, and see how your staff answer the phone when they can't see your phone number on caller ID? Have you shopped your product online? Do you follow your business on social media? Have you gone through the booking process right from start to finish as your different customer personas? Have you sat down on the couch at 8 o'clock at night with a glass of wine and thought, I am going to go through the process of booking my product? We are very, very good in hotels at going to the back end of our websites and our distribution partners, but do we remember to go on the customer-facing side? Are you enrolled in your newsletter? Do you see what your staff are sending out to your customers? Do you talk to your family and friends to understand what they go through when they buy either your product or a similar product? You need to be a customer of your product to understand what your customers are experiencing. Guest reviews. They are a hive of information because they are a reflection of how your customers experience your product. They are what the customers remember about your product, what resonated with them or didn't resonate with them. Occasionally, you will get a customer who goes for a ride on the London Eye and is scared of heights. But on the whole, your customer reviews are a very good indication of how customers feel about you. You need to mine your reviews and understand what each customer persona is saying about you. Break your reviews down into sections. Maybe it's the Juggling Joneses saying that it was hard to sit and watch TV. Or maybe it's another persona saying the location was great. You need to know. If you don't know what your customers like, want, value, or need, ask them. This was a very interesting exercise that Qantas went through last month on Instagram. It put up a series of yes/no questions, very simple questions. Do you like vineyards or reef? Do you like pink or blue? Now, as a person who works in marketing, I know exactly what they were doing. They are asking their customers what they want, value, and need. And as a member of Qantas Frequent Flyers, I fully expect my newsletter next month to be telling me about reef deals and to be full of pictures that show blue. At the end of today's webinar, you will be sent a copy of the recording, the slides, and you will be sent some activities. One of them will be to create your customer personas. Now, you will need to create at least one for your product, your business, but I would recommend doing at least 4 or 5. You want to give your personas a name, an age, an income. Look at what vehicles they drive. I was talking to one of my hotels last week, and he can tell me that his customers have gone from driving Kia Sportages to now they drive Porsches. He can look around the car park and judge a person's income by the vehicles parked in his car park. How do they purchase your product? What are the challenges and pain points that they experience? What is a showstopper? What does your business offer them? Create a customer persona. And whilst you're going through this process, think about how they behaved in 2019, how they behave today in 2021, and how you think they may behave in 2023, because COVID has forced change. Now that you've completed your customer personas, it's important to get to know your competitors. There's been this little thing recently called a pandemic. You might have heard of it. It has led to a lot of change in the marketplace. Some of our competitors have closed, some have opened, and some have gone through renovations. You need to look around and identify your competitors and think, what has changed? Now, I recommend looking at your competitor set at least once a year, but more often if something big happens. Your competitors are not always who you think they are. They're not the business next door. Sometimes your competitors are people a long way away. One of the first things you need to do is think as per your customer personas. So think about the juggling Joneses. They're sitting on the couch this evening and they're having a conversation. Darling, should we go away this weekend? The weather forecast is really good. Ooh, yes. Shall we go to the mountains, the vineyards, or the coast? So right now, your competitor set is very, very broad. You are competing against everyone from the mountains to the vineyards to the coast. Well, honey, I really feel like going to the coast. It's beautiful weather. Let's go to the coast. You're no longer competing against the vineyards or mountains. How far should we drive? Last time we put little Timmy in the car, he got car seat. So let's only go about 2 hours. Your competitor set has just shrunk from being anyone on the coast to anyone within 2 hours drive. They are sitting in their CBD location and they're now looking at hotels 2 hours away, but that are on the coast. Shall we take our COVID dog? That's a good idea. A kennel costs money. So now you are only competing against pet-friendly accommodation. Do you notice as the decision-making process goes along, your competitor set changes? Do we want to cater a self-catering, an apartment, or do we want to stay in a hotel? Every step of the way, your competitor set changes, and you need to be aware of the decision-making process your customer personas go through so that you know who your competitors are. Your competitors can sometimes be a little bit innovative and different. Toilet paper. It's something we all know a lot about right now. It's been in the news a little bit lately. Okay, so last year, if you produced toilet paper, there wasn't much competition because it was all about scarcity. Whoever could get their supply chain working the quickest and get their product onto supermarket aisles was the one that was bought. So the competition was all about scarcity and production. This year, supply chains have stabilized. So now you've got anything from your no-name cheap brand through to something like Who Gives a Crap, which is incredibly environmentally friendly and very Instagrammable. I can take photos of my box and show it off on Instagram. Or maybe You produce bid A's. It's different. It's not the norm. We don't find it on a toilet paper aisle, but it does the same job. Who do you compete against? Is it someone outside your normal circumference of view? Okay, your sales staff have an amazing array of information at their fingertips. Have you trained them to ask probing questions? Your sales team is anyone from the reception staff checking your customers in, through to the wait staff in the restaurant talking to their customers about their day, the tour bus driver, the guide taking people for a walk around your resort. These are all people you can train to ask probing questions. Who else are you considering? I must put them on my competitor set. What quotes have you received? So that customer persona likes to budget about that much. Who were you using previously? Where else have you used? So we compete against them. Don't forget that if you lose a booking, you still want to probe for more information. What made you choose them? How could we improve next time? You want to ensure that your sales team are asking and recording probing questions so that you can use the information to grow your customer personas, to understand more about who you compete against. Data. Have you set up Google Analytics? Well, I hope you have. Have you got Google Analytics all over your website? Do you know how to read the analytics and what decision-making process to go through? We have a lot of information at our fingertips today. Your payment gateway site, it will tell you what credit cards majority of people are using, when they pay, what is the average lead time. Make mystery calls to your competitors. Ring them. Hi, my name is Tammy and I work for the Department of Education. I'm looking at coming next Wednesday. What's your government rate? Oh, thanks. I need a purchase order. I'll call you back. When you recruit, what do potential staff tell you about your competitors and your product? What about suppliers? Now, this is a really interesting one because whenever we attend business networking events, everyone will always say, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy, busy. But when you talk to someone like the linen supplier and say, how busy are you, mate? And he says, oh, it's really quiet this week. I'm only delivering 5 linen trolleys a day. Normally, I'd deliver about 20 linen trolleys a day. That's going to give you a lot of information on what's going on in your local environment. So in summary, your competitors are not always who you think they are. They're not always the ones next door. They're not always the ones charging the same price, the same size, or the same star rating as you. You really need to investigate and talk to your customers and find out who your competitors are. Once you know who your competitors are, you will be able to do what is called a SWOT analysis. It is where we look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So a strength may be something like they have beachfront access and I don't. A threat may be something like there is going to be roadworks outside my business for the next 6 months and there's going to be no parking and people will be unable to find me or get to me easily and it's going to be really noisy. But the opportunity might be that once the roadworks are finished, it's going to be pedestrianised and I will be able to add outdoor seating. Look at your SWOT analysis, but also complete one for each of your competitors. As you go through the process of completing a SWOT analysis, you may realize that you need to remove a hotel or a business from your competitor set and add a different one. That's okay. You should complete a SWOT analysis at least once a year. and if not more often, should something big happen. Once you have completed your customer personas and you have identified your competitors and you have completed your SWOT analysis, now you can identify what is truly unique about your hotel. You can look at things in a slightly different perspective. So instead of saying, I've got a menu, it might be, I've got a menu catering to special dietary needs, allowing my customers to dine safely. It might be that you have a swimming pool, great, but the actual unique selling point is you have a kids' pool with lifeguard on duty for extra peace of mind. You might advertise yourself as being pet friendly, but the unique selling point is that the whole family can go on holiday. When you create your unique selling points, think feature, advantage, benefit. What truly sets you apart from the competition? It is not, I've got a swimming pool. Now you can write your value proposition. You know who your customers are. You know what you offer that is truly unique. You know who your competitors are. And I, as a potential customer, should be able to look at your website and identify your value proposition within a few moments. Once you've written your value proposition statement, it is time to look at your competitors' pricing. Price is something that a buyer is willing to pay, a seller is willing to accept, and the competition is allowing to be charged. I like to think of pricing in relation to real estate. We all watch those DIY flip it shows, and the real estate agent always comes along at the end and says, I know you want to sell your house for 1.5, but this street has a cap of 1 million. I've got sellers who might go to 1.1, but really, we're going to be pushing it. It happens at the end of every one of those DIY shows, and it's a very good indication of how pricing works. To understand your competitors' pricing, you need to monitor it. Now, there's this little thing called cookies, and it's a hard concept to explain, but I think of it like Little Red Riding Hood walking through the forest and she's dropping a cookie trail. She needs to know where she's been, where she's going, and how to get back out. Or you might want to think of it as booking.com. You go to booking.com each day, you look at your hotel and you look at your competitor's hotel. Tomorrow, you go and you do the same thing. You look at your hotel and your competitor's hotel on booking.com. By day 3, booking.com and Google has worked out that each time you go to booking.com, you like looking at your hotel and the competitor's hotel. So the first 2 hotels you will see is your hotel and your competitor's hotel. To overcome this cookie trail, you need to go incognito. Incognito is when you click the 3 little dots in the top right-hand corner, select New Incognito window, and your screen goes black. This will override the cookie trail as much as possible, and it will allow you to get the full customer experience. So instead of seeing the same hotels you look at every day, you will see what a customer sees. Don't forget to make mystery calls. Fake it. Give your competitors a call, because the price you see on their website and the price you see on their distribution partners is not the only price they have. They may have a different price over the phone. They may have a different price on social media. Go and chat to your competitors at trade shows. What are they telling you? What are they selling to customers? What are they talking about? What are they saying is coming up? For example, they might be planning renovations. Watch your competitors' webinars. I fully expect that some of my competitors will be on today's webinars, and if they're not, I would wonder why. They need to understand what I'm talking about and what I'm telling my potential clients. You need to read your competitors' blogs. You might find some ideas for your own. Enroll in your competitors' newsletters. There will be different pricing on the newsletters, special offers on the newsletters, things that you don't see on their website or on their distribution partners. What do the potential recruits say when you are interviewing them? What do the suppliers say? What do their review sites say? Analyze your competitors just as much as you analyze yourself. Now, competitor pricing is a bit like an octopus. This is the way I like to picture it anyway. The head of the octopus is the bar price, the best flexible price. It is the price that you see straight away. But coming off it are all different tentacles with hidden prices. You need to do some digging to find those different prices so that you can understand them, analyze them, and monitor them. One of the things we quite often do is go to Google and look at our competitors and go, okay, how much for one night next week? Do you ever go and look and say, how much for 3 nights next month? How much for 7 nights next year? Search different length of stay. Search for volume. Search their members database. Long lead. What do their resellers have as a price? There's not just one price. They will have lots of different price, and you need to dig to find them. Pricing, you need to find your lane. We like to think that we might be David Jones or Armani or Gucci, but sometimes we're just Target or Audi or Kmart. What is your product and which lane should you be in? We need to be realistic. We need to find our lane and stick to it. The next activity you will be sent is, what is my position pricing wise? This is quite a simple one to do. You need to think about your unique selling points, put them along the top of an Excel sheet. Down the left-hand side, you will name yourself and then your competitors. You will be scored 0. Your competitors who are the same as you will be scored 0. Those that are slightly better than you, 1. Much better than you, 2. Worse than you, -1. Much worse than you, -2. Total up the scores and then find out where you sit in your market. You will be 0. Those who score above you are better than you, and those who score below you are worse than you. Are you Target? Are you Aldi? Are you Gucci? Where should you sit? Once you know your competitor's price, you can now look at your own price. Your price, one of the biggest things to remember with pricing is that we don't always look for cheap. So think about it like this. If you're buying a new winter coat, you might have spent the last 6 months saving up for a new winter coat. You might be thinking, I want to buy a really good quality coat. I want it to last me for the next 10, 15 years. I'm going to really push the boat out, and I might go to that Gucci, Armani, David Jones end of the market. Or perhaps you're thinking, no, I just want a coat for this year. I want something that's really on trend. It's nice and bright and colourful. I only want it to last this year. My budget is this much. Or maybe you are looking for a coat because it started raining and you need one desperately right now. And so you're quite happy to go to Aldi and get a cheap one that's only going to last you 24 hours. Not everyone wants cheap. You can price your product according to what your customer personas want and what they value and what they need. There's many different pricing styles in the world. I've selected a few that you will be familiar with. Dynamic pricing. This is something that airlines do very, very well. So as demand increases, so does the price. Or perhaps freemium pricing. If anyone has signed up for MailChimp, Canva, Slack, any of those things you find on the internet, you will get a certain amount for free, and then you start paying once you use it more. Maybe it's high-low pricing, very common at the supermarket. It was this, it's now that. Or there's premium pricing, and that's where we dot in all those words like luxury and bespoke. Pricing changes. You need to find the pricing model that's going to work for you. You might want to mix and match. That's okay. You might also want to consider packaging. There's two reasons we package. One is we want to sell in bulk. We want to drive demand. Stay 3 nights, get one free. Buy one, get one free. It's all about moving volume. Or we might be trying to use our packages to create a suggestion, to create an experience. Something like a limo from the airport, drinks in the rooftop bar, dinner in the fine dining restaurant, a massage in the spa on arrival. The package might end up being something so exorbitantly expensive that no customer can actually afford it, but we have dropped the suggestion that we have a limo service, that we have a rooftop bar, that we have cocktails, that we have a spa. Sorry, that's my dog. You need to decide what your goal is when you are packaging and how are you going to sell it. For example, we take a look at this photo. It is selling me beautiful blue skies, clear blue waters. It is selling me the experience of relaxing and going snorkeling and spending time with my family. The photo tells me all this. The two things missing in the photo are an aeroplane and a hotel. We can't see those. It's a very suggestive package. What are you trying to achieve with your pricing? When you price something, it is very, very important to understand your profit margins. So anyone who's using an accounting system will know, so something like Xero, QuickBooks, MyOb, there is a report in there that tells you all about profit margins. You need to understand what is the cost of inclusions. What does it cost for me to have a room sitting empty? And what does it cost for me to have a room that is sold? What are my staff costs? What is the cost of distribution and acquisition? If I'm going to package, how much is it going to cost me in staff moans and groans when I ask them to deliver that package? You need to know your profit margins. A long time ago, when I was a brand new revenue manager, I used to just price a room and sell it. I was quite happy, whatever price. I put it out there. I sold lots of rooms. Now, today in business, I deal with owners and I understand so much more about how much I need to make each month, how much money a business owner needs to make each month to pay his bills. We need to share that information with our staff because our staff see how much we sell the rooms for, and then they see what they're paid and they wonder why the difference. You need to explain to your staff all the other costs that go into running a business. When you create a price, you are going to launch it into the market. You will need an SOP. You will need to train your staff. You need photography. You need to think, where am I going to distribute this price? Who are my distribution partners? Who am I targeting? Of all of my customer personas, who am I targeting? Which channels can I distribute this on? Do they have the functionality to distribute this product? Can I set it up in my PMS and my channel manager? Now I can launch it. And once I launch it, I need to test it, A/B test it, or always be testing. If I use this photo or that photo, which one sells more? If I send a newsletter, which subject line works better? If I distribute on this channel or that channel, which one sells more? What do my analytics tell me? What does Google tell me? What are the OTAs telling me? You are always be testing, always be testing. And know what you want to achieve. How are you going to benchmark yourself? So, for example, in a hotel, you might use something like STR to benchmark your ADR, RevPAR, and yield. Or maybe you're using it to create better customer reviews. Or maybe you're looking at conversion rates. Maybe you've created a highly experience driven package and you want to get people to your website. So you're looking to increase website visitation. You're looking to increase your social media followers. What are you hoping to achieve when you launch this product, launch this price into the market? So you need a goal so you can benchmark yourself. And once you've launched it, it isn't time to put your feet up and forget about it and say, I'm done. Great. Let's have lunch. Because you need to keep testing. Because we're humans, we change our minds and our customers change their minds. Our customer personas change. You must never stop testing, analyzing, and benchmarking yourself. In summary, you need to create a value proposition, to know whether you are pricing yourself right. You need to be a customer. You need to think about what your customers need, value, and want. You need to consider what your unique selling points are. What is your value proposition? Who are my actual competitors? Not the ones next door. Who do I actually compete against? You need to benchmark yourself and be prepared to change and never, ever assume. Okay, that's it for me today. As I said, my name is Tammy and I run a company called Revenue. We specialize in revenue, sales, marketing, and distribution support. Please reach out if you need any help. We love to help. And any questions?
Hi.
Hey.
Is there any questions in? No?
Oh, it's so good. They've got no questions.
Sure? Here's a free consultant. You can ask them anything. Is there somewhere you can ask questions? I'm not sure, actually.
On the right-hand side, it's got comments and chat.
Yep. Yeah, there's a comment or chat on the right-hand side if anyone wants to ask something or make a comment or give a suggestion. Well done, Tammy. They know everything now.
I know.
Oh, I can see Rahul. Okay. How will the best way to pricing in the near future?
Okay, as I said, you can't price in a vacuum. You've got to see what your competitors are doing and work out your goals and how you're going to benchmark yourself. What do you want to achieve when you price yourself? What are your costs? Well, how much money do you need to make each month? Are you there to sell in volume or are you selling an experience? It's no set hard rules, but do feel free to drop me an email if you wish to discuss your property in more detail.
Thank you. To price out.
How should you think? I would think about your customer personas. I would think about your competitors and then think numbers. You've got to know who you're selling to, how they're going to shop, how they're going to buy. No, resorts and corporate hotels are different because your customers are different in each product. And what who you compete against is different. So midweek, weekends, all that sort of thing, what you're offering is different. What your unique selling points are different.
Yeah, and the corporate customer might be more likely to stay in a brand where they've got a frequent flyer account with. The resort customer is looking for different. Their priorities are a lot different. Good question, though. Thank you. The process is the same. You still go and compare yourself to your competitor set and look at your reviews is really important. If you get a bad review for a leisure customer, a resort customer, they're likely to just take you out of the list that of hotels or resorts that they're thinking about. So it's much more drastic than if a corporate customer sees a bad review.
New corporate customer is much more focused on his guest review, on his frequent flyer points as well. And it might be mandated by his head office where he can stay. So his choices might be less. Whereas a leisure traveller gets a lot more choice.
Anyone else have questions? I gather we'd see it come up if there was.
I assume so.
The vision in APAC for corporates.
Not yet. We are expecting corporates back next year. We're still trying to get borders open in APAC at the moment. We're a little bit behind the rest of the world in vaccinations, so we're only just starting to open back up now. So February, we expect to see a lot more corporate travel.
Yeah, I think it's only domestic at the moment, but still not even then.
No.
Not even domestic is and I think we all realise worldwide, don't we, that corporates are going to be travelling less often. They might make longer trips and do more things on that trip, but they're going to be travelling less often.
Yeah.
And that's good for hotels in a way that they might stay longer. So you haven't got so many people in and out, so your costs are probably a bit less. For airlines, it's probably not so good.
No.
Less trips.
No, that's the big thing. They're saying that they'll do one trip every quarter or one per year, but stay for a week. Because why would we travel when we can do this?
Yeah, from home.
Yeah. From the comfort of our PJs.
So I guess, and if you're a corporate hotel, then you might be suddenly focusing on leisure customers. So that's probably why going through that process Tammy has given you, and we'll give you a worksheet that you can use to help you go through that process, is really important. So especially for a lot of hotels and resorts, the target markets have changed. So this is a really important process to go through for everyone. Normally, as Tammy said, I think you go and look at your market segments and your personas about once a year, but at the moment you need to look at them and see what's changed. Look at, where is your money coming from? Where are your bookings coming from? And that's where you should focus your sales and marketing efforts.
Hi, Rahul. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Rahul. Thank you for the compliment on behalf of Tammy. He did all the work.
You might need to create some experiences yourself. If the tour operators have gone bankrupt, will new tour operators come along and fill that vacuum? Or do you need to create some experiences to entice your customers in?
So you could go and partner with some local tour operators, local attractions or tour operators, and put a package together that includes the attraction. Often if you've got a local tourism development company or organisation, they might have some collateral you can use and creative you can use to entice people to come to the location your hotels are in.
One of the most interesting things at the moment is they're really pushing hotels to become part of the community. If you start reaching out and working with other people within your community, you double and triple your marketing reach. Social media, think of it like this. If you create a package with the attraction next door and you both agree to promote it on your social media, you've just doubled your reach. You will then double your SEO, double your search, because you're working with someone else. So you need to possibly fill the vacuum left by the tour operators that have gone bankrupt. But bear in mind, some of them will have closed down for the 2 years, and once they see the business start to pick up, they might come back.
Great. Any more? Maybe not.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Travel Tech Academy. Thank you for the opportunity to do our workshop.
I didn't want to interrupt you. You were answers the questions here, very good questions. So don't be shy, people. Come on, attend this. If you have questions here, they will answer all your doubts.
Here's your chance.
So come on. Any other questions to do it to her? To Tammy and
you will be sent a copy of the slides, and there will be contact details. So if you want to reach out after the webinar, feel free. Yes, you will get a copy of the recording later.
Yes, all attendees will get the record session after this. Also, you can subscribe to get the test and obtain your certification. So feel free to subscribe in any post you see on LinkedIn. There you will have the link to registrations. Enter there and put your email, and you will receive an email with the link to do the test about this masterclass, this wonderful session, and obtain your official certification. That's right.
Okay, great. Good luck with that, everybody.
Yes. I don't know how difficult are the questions.
We put some easy ones into. We put some easy ones into. Don't worry.
Okay, great.
Ivan, you'll be sent a copy of the video as well, the recording.
Yes. On the link on the email will be the link to
Hi, Ivan.
Okay, so if you
Thanks, Dave, for the feedback.
No, this was a great session. Thank you very much, both you, for your time and for this wonderful session. I hope the feedback from the attendees, and thank you for being on Travel Tech Academy. We have a lot. We have more sessions this week on November and December. We have Libra. We have the Hotel Network, Profit Room. So we hope more attendees on this masterclass to learn about revenue management, about customer experience, and a lot of other things. So Dave says that I have learned a lot. That's the idea.
Thanks, Dave.
That's the idea
yes,
about
Dave,
these
you will be
masterclasses.
sent the questions.
I'm sorry.
And we'll send you some information about how you can learn more if you're interested in delving deeper into those topics.
Yes. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This was an outstanding session. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, Natalia. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Shaki. Bye, Tammy.